What's up, everybody? Rogue here, back at you with another Magic the Gathering video. Today, I have a special guest with us that's going to provide a deck profile for you.
My name is Jacob, and I'm an Underdog gamer. Today we are going over my Karador Ghost Chieftain deck with a very unique take on it, because most Karador decks are self-milled dredge decks. This is a Abzan Aristocrats, and we're going to start out with the land base. So we have 11 swamps, 10 forest, 10 plains, and from the land base, we are going over to the non-creature base. We got Entomb. It is basically the main tutor you're ever going to use. You're either just going to cast it on your opponent's turn. Tutor card graveyard can be used to save your graveyard in any tight spot. We have the Meat Hook Massacre. It's basically a board wipe on a stick. Turns into, you gain life, drain life, depending on what, if your opponent's creatures or your creatures dies. Village Right is the only draw spell in the deck. Sack a creature, which is going to gain you life off the Meat Hook Massacre, and in turn you're going to draw 2 cards. Dark Ritual, that is a key piece for one of the best combos in the deck. What you will do is, you'll turn 1, drop a swamp, you'll play Dark Rit. Oh yeah, there's my Claw Coffers, that's part of the land base. You'll play Dark Rit, and you're going to go right into Buried Alive, and that's going to tutor 3 cards from your graveyard, from your deck to your graveyard on turn 1. Can't get any better than that. Abzan Banner is just a cheap mana rock. Cheap early game mana rock. Ashnod's Altar, that is a combo piece that we will set aside for later. Moldavine Reclamation, you will, your creatures die, you're going to gain a life draw card, so you sack something to the altar, you get 2 colorless mana, you're going to gain a life draw card. Grave Pack, expensive card, but what you're going to do is, like, you'll sack something to the altar, you'll get draw a card, gain a mana, and then your opponents are going to have to sack something to it. Basically, the whole deck itself is meant to, you can't ever have a board. Gaia's Blessing, it is a draw spell that is, in most cases, used to save the graveyard from a Bajuka Bog. So, like, what I'll do is, like, my opponent will play a Bajuka Bog, and in response to Bajuka Bog's effect on the stack, I'm going to pay 1 black and Entomb Gaia's Blessing and shuffle my graveyard into my library. Unmarked Graves is just a 2 mana tutor non-legendary card to the graveyard. Final Parting, and it's going to tutor a card to my graveyard and a card to my hand, and in most cases it's going to hit either Cabal Coffers or Ashnod's Altar. Diabolic Tutor, same thing, it's going to tutor a card to my hand, grab another combo piece like Ashnod's Altar, and a couple of specific creatures that I'll get into later. Gerard's Orders is going to tutor a card to my graveyard and a creature card to my hand. What I'll do with that is I'll typically hit something to the graveyard that I don't really necessarily need at the time, and then I'll hit like a creature that's going to tutor something to the graveyard to my hand. We got Reanimate, and basically one of the best turn 1 plays involves Reanimate, or turn 2 plays involves Reanimate. So like you'll turn 1 Buried Alive, on turn 2 you'll play Reanimate on a Shieldred the Whispering one, and probably win the game from there. And then as a game-ending spell, if it ever gets to the late game, you're gonna play Eerie Ultimatum and just bring the entirety of your graveyard to the battlefield. Now onto the creatures. We got Visceral Seer. It's a free sack outlet. It's gonna let me scry. We got Neverwinter Dryad, just a cheap little ramp. Pay 2, go get a forest, go to basic forest. Elvish Mystic, Land of War Elves, both cheap, cheap ramp. Persistent Specimen, which is a combo piece. Avacyn's Pilgrim, cheap ramp. Fertilid, more ramp. Farhaven Elf and Burnished Heart, Yawgmoth's Elder, Land of War Visionary, and Elvish Rejuvenator are all cheap mid to early game ramp spells that I'm going to play. We got Carthage Commando, it's a 2/1/3 with Flash, and you can pay 1 and you get to blow up an artifact or an enchantment, and which combos with cards like Grave Pact. So not only am I going to nuke your artifact, I'm also going to take your enchantment with it, or I'm just going to take a creature with it. Dawn Treader out, early game ramp. Can't ever have enough early game ramp. Druid of the Crow, more early game ramp. Blood Artist, it is a key combo piece to the deck. Azumi Grave Robber, early game card that if you get it out early enough, you can immediately flip it almost, and just start bringing back a creature from any graveyard for 5 mana. Being a Soul Steeper combos with Blood Artist, but it's not a necessity. It just speeds the game up. Corpse Knight, whenever creatures enter, because this deck has a lot of creatures entering the battlefield, you're gonna burn your opponents for 1. Torn's Fist of the Angels. Every time you cast a green spell, you're gonna get a 1. Every time you cast a creature spell, you're gonna get a 1/1 token. It's just gonna help you go wide because it's a creature heavy deck. Fleshback Marauder. You're gonna ETB. Everyone's gonna sack a creature. Gets very oppressive when you're doing that 2-3 times a turn. Thrashing Prontodon is same thing as the Commando, more enchantment or artifact removal. Eternal Witness, it's going to let you grab any card from your graveyard back to your hand, so you can play this and then go grab something like Eerie Ultimatum back. Bog Witch, it's going to turn all of your cards in your hand. Once per turn, it's going to turn every card in your hand into Dark Ritual. For 1 black. Demon's Disciple, ETBs, everyone sacks a creature or planeswalker. Reclamation Sage, 3 mana, nuke an artifact or enchantment. Playcrafter, ETB, everyone sacks a creature or planeswalker, those who can't discard a card. Form of the Desecrated, which is going to combo with Karador Ghost Chieftain. Every time I bring something back, I'm going to get a 2/2 zombie. Poison Tipped Archer. Every time a creature dies, keyword a creature, so like I'll play Crafter, make everyone sack a creature, and then burn every player for times the number of creatures that died. Falconwrath Noble is just a more expensive Blood Artist. Isug, Glorious Resurrector. It's basically a budget turd. You're gonna sack something and then I'm gonna steal it with Gisa if Gisa sticks on my upkeep. Violent Tumor. It's a 4 mana tutor. You're gonna ETB tutor a creature, a card to your graveyard. Pitiless Plunder. It's a key combo piece. So what you'll do is you'll get Pitiless Plunder out, sack a creature, then you're gonna see a treasure token, and then that's gonna let you. You're gonna sack that treasure token for a black, and you're gonna be able to bring this one creature back over and over and over again. You'll sack a creature to the altar, and then you'll get Persistent Specimen back off the treasure token with the Plunderer, and bring that back over and over and over again, giving you infinite Poison Tipped Archer triggers, infinite Blood Artist triggers, infinite Falconwrath Noble triggers. Timeless Witness, it's going to let you bring back any card to your hand. Gravebreaker Lamia, another tutor to the graveyard.
If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure and attack that thumbs up button. And if it's your first time to our channel and you haven't subscribed yet, and you've made it this far in the video, be sure and set that subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any more Magic the Gathering Commander deck profiles just like these.
We got Cataclysmic Gearhulk. It is a 5-drop that's going to ETB and it's going to nuke the entire board. And if Turgid's out, you're also going to steal everything. Corpse Connoisseur, Graveyard Tutor. You got Sir Conrad. You got a little bit of self-mill, so if I don't have anything to do for a turn, dump my mana into Sir Conrad, mill a bunch of cards, and deal some damage. And it's also a deterrent against Bajuka Bog and other cards like Bajuka Bog. Say I have a stacked graveyard and Sir Conrad's out, you might kill the entire table to a Bajuka Bog. Karmic Guide, ETB, bring a creature back to the battle in the graveyard. Got Turgid, God of Fright. Basically, what the deck is meant to do is basically say you can't have any creatures, so you're going to play Turgid out, and then you're just going to start playing Fleshbag Marauder over and over and over again, or you're going to get like a Gravepack Trigger and steal your opponent's boards. It's meant to be very impressive with that. And both Gisa and Turgid fit that role. You got Teneb the Harvester. He's really just a 6/6 flyer, but not bad because I can also swing in with him and steal a creature from a card from a graveyard. You got Primordial Sage. It's going to turn all of your creature cards into cantrips, which whenever you basically I'll cast Teneb and I'll replace Teneb with a card from a card from the top of my deck. You got Shieldred the Whispering One. Basically, probably one of the strongest cards in the deck, if not the strongest card. I mean, you go into turn 1 Buried Alive, turn 2 Reanimate Shieldred. You're immediately gonna be so far ahead that most players aren't able to catch up, and most players will probably scoop. Put your Malakir. It's gonna combo with cards like Plaguecrafter, Fleshbag Marauder. Keep your opponent's boards pretty thin, like it wants to do. Sun Titan. ETB, return a 3-drop, 3 CMC or less from your graveyard, and basically what that's gonna do is almost every time you're gonna go grab Burnished Heart back from your graveyard with Sun Titan, sack it, go grab 2 lands, and just start hitting for 6 with Sun Titan, and just go grab all your lands off of Burnished Heart. Bellatrix Witherbloom, you're going to get him out and start using him for the pay 10 life for either Fleshback or either for the Meathook Massacre or the next card I'm about to show. And you also get tokens on your upkeep, which is just nice. And then the golden pig of the deck, or the single strongest card in the deck, is Old Stick Fingers. So basically what you'll do is you'll get your lands out, you'll play Bellatrix the turn before, tap everything out, pay 10 life, and then tap everything again, and then Old Stick Fingers for a ton, getting most of your creature base into the bin. And usually from there you can probably win if nobody has any answers. This has been Jacob, or Mr. Cool 789, signing off.